Today is a very special program because we have a very special guest, a very senior devotee in ISKCON, His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu. His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu ki. Jai. So before we begin, I will just briefly introduce His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu. Prabhuji was born in Los Angeles, California, in the United States of America. He joined Krishna consciousness movement in Boulder. Is that correct? I pronounced Boulder in Colorado in 1969. He first met Srila Prabhupada in 1970 in Los Angeles, where he got initiated. His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu opened the first temple in Dallas, Texas. He was the president of Portland Temple from 1972 to 1978. In 1980, he moved to Colombia, where he preached in Spanish. In 1984, he moved to Vrindavan. 1984. 1986, he was appointed the president of Krishna Balram Temple in Vrindavan for 3 years and 3 months. Around the period 1988, His Grace Baba Madhav Das approached him to take over the restoration of Vrinda Kund. He started taking people out on parikrama since he was president. In 2003, a beautiful carved stone temple of Srimati Vrinda Devi was inaugurated in Vrinda Kund, which Dina Bandhu Prabhu is still maintaining to date. Among various other significant projects in Vrindavan, His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu has helped in restoring the Samadhi Mandir or the burial chamber of the great saint Srila Sanatana Goswami. He has also been an active supporter to restore the sacred river Yamuna in Vrindavan. Whoever he comes across, he humbly invites them to come to Vrindavan and have darshan of all the holy places. Over the last few days, in the temple, Prabhuji has been giving very nectarian lectures. Many of us were not fortunate enough to visit Vrindavan towards the Kartik month. I don't know when we will get the next opportunity, but when we hear Prabhuji's classes, we are virtually transported to Vrindavan. All of you will agree with me. And that's a big mercy that Prabhuji is giving on us in Melbourne, because it's so difficult for us to plan a trip to Vrindavan and go. And max, if we do it, we go once a year or maybe once in 2 years. But Prabhuji's lectures and also Prabhuji's books, which we will talk about later, literally transport you to Vrindavan, which is actually the goal of human form of life. So we are very fortunate and very grateful to His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu for giving his valuable time to come here and give us his causeless mercy. So let's welcome His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So to begin, we have a very beautiful bhajan written in Brajbasi language that will just transport us to Braj. How many people have been to Vrindavan? Oh, almost everybody. All right. So tonight we're going to take you to Vrindavan without ticket, without security check, and no PCR test. So if you have your devices, this is Braja Jana Mana. Braja Jana Mana Sukhakari. So you can look up Braja Jana Mana probably on your devices. But the refrain is very easy, you'll learn in 2 seconds. Shri Radhe Braja Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Shri Radhe Shri Radhe Brajajana Manda Sukhakari Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Murmukutta Makara Krita Kundala Gale Vajandi Mala. Charananupura Rasala Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Charananupura Rasala. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajanna Manda Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajanna Manda Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama. Sundara Badana Kamaladala Lochana Bangi Chittavana Hari. Sundara Badana Kamaladala Lochana Bangi Chittavana Hari. Mohana Bamsi Bihari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Mohana Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajanna Manda Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajanna Manda Sukhakari. Vrindavan mein Denu Charabe Gopi Jana Manahari. Sri Govardhana Dari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Govardhana Dari. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajanna Manda Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Radhe Radha Krishna Miliya Bado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Radha Krishna Miliya Bado Gaura Rupa Avatari. Kirtana Dharma Prachari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Kirtana Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Sri Radhe Prajajana Manasukakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham. Sri Radhe Prajajana Manasukakari. तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 चरणन में नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 नारायण ओ राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम ओ राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम ओ राधे श्याम राधे श्याम ओ राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय जय श्री राधे श्याम. So this beautiful is right to Braj. Brajajana mana sukakari. Brajajan means the language of the people of Braj. Just like some people here are the Bengali Jan, most are Gujarati Jan, and some are Delhi Jan. Actually, you're all Vaishnavas, so you're all Bhakta Jans. But Brajajan means the residents of Braj. And man means the heart. Brajajana mana sukakari, who delights the hearts of all the Brajbasis. So who delights the heart of all the Brajbasis? Radhe Shyam, Shama Sham. So somebody was asking me last night about our different encounters with Srila Prabhupada. And I was remembering that sometimes either we were visiting LA, we stayed in LA for a little while, and somehow I always managed to be right at the right in front of Srila Prabhupada's Vyasasam whenever he would give class there. So one day I was sitting there, and Prabhupada went like this to me. And I looked, I thought maybe my dhoti was open or something. I couldn't see anything. I sort of froze like this in a yogi position. And then Prabhupada shook his head that everything was okay now. So I just froze like that. And in the middle of the lecture, all of a sudden Prabhupada points at me and says, "Don't do that." Devotees have this bad habit of shaking their leg like this, Because I had a hard time even now it's come back again in my old age, but even young, I had a hard time sitting nicely in lotus position. So I was shaking my Prabhupada, and very distracting for somebody who's speaking. Prabhupada said, "Don't do that." So that I froze. Another time, I was sitting right there and Prabhupada told the story, Punarmusika Bhava. You know about you know the story. Everyone knows the story, Punar Musika Baba? You don't know? So there was one mouse, he came to the sadhu. Because everybody in India thinks sadhu means jadoo. So he said, Maharaj, please help me. He said, what's the matter? He said, this cat is always chasing me. So what do you want? I want to become a cat. So he raised his hand and boom, he became a cat. After some time, he came back and bowed down before Maharaj. He said, you're not satisfied being a cat? No, this dog is always chasing me. So you want to become a dog? It's all right, become a dog. So he became a dog. After some time, he came back to the sadhu. And he said, sadhu said, you're not satisfied being a dog? He said, no, now this tiger is always chasing me. So you want to become a tiger? So he raised his hand, he became a tiger. When he became a tiger, he was looking at the sadhu with very greedy eyes. And sadhu said, so you want to eat me? Punarmusika Bhava, again become a mouse. And everybody was cracking up. And I'm famous for my smile. So I was right there in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at me and said, don't laugh, it is serious, try to understand. Whatever we are, we may think I'm a big book distributor, I'm a very good pujari, I'm the most wonderful cook, I'm the most wonderful collector, this and that. We should not become puffed up. Otherwise, Punarmusika Bhava, again you'll become a mouse. So Prabhupada looked, he said, don't laugh, it is serious, try to understand. Another time, in the temple where they are now in Vatseka, before the temple room was in what is now the Fate Museum. They have all these dioramas and some of them moving things. And there was a lecture hall that turned into the temple room. But when the temple room was in the old place, there was a door in the back where Prabhupada would come down to offer his obeisance to the deities and then sit in the Vyasasana and give class. So, I guess we were in Boulder, so we wanted to go to Rath Yatra in San Francisco. And so we heard that Prabhupada was in LA, so we drove out to LA first. And just that morning, Prabhupada had ordered that he'd just gotten that record from Jamuna about, singing the Govinda prayers. So he ordered that you should play this at Darshanarti. And I've racked my poor old brain. I can't remember what we used to do for Darshanarti before that, because since that time, that must have been 1970, we've been doing Govinda prayers. So Prabhupada came in like he did every morning. We were all standing on both sides of that doorway, and he come in from the back. It was on the right side, right corner. He come in, come up, offers obeisance to the Gornitai. Then there was a pillar there with the Charnamrit. He'd take Charnamrit, and then he would offer his obeisance. We just had little Radhakrishna. We didn't have big Radhakrishna at that time. So he'd offer his obeisance to Radhakrishna. Then he would have offered his obeisance to Jagannath. And then he would go back. His Vyasasana was directly facing Radha and Krishna. He went to the back. And we saw Prabhupada was chanting along with the recording. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. And suddenly we saw streams of tears coming down Prabhupada's face. And we were just so embarrassed that we were such wretched souls, and we were in the presence of the pure devotee when he's experiencing ecstatic symptoms. We wanted to peel up the tiles of the temple room and just crawl underneath and hide, So we were, Prabhupada, just tears were pouring down his eyes. Whoa, and then the tape ended. And Prabhupada rubbed his face and he sniffed very loudly into the microphone. I can still remember that sniff. And at that time, in 1970, Prabhupada was teaching us Isopanishad mantras. In fact, we used to go on Harinam and between the Hare Krishna Kirtan, everyone was always saying, Om Purnamada Purnamidam. So we do it on Harinam Sankirtan. But Prabhupada was teaching us, every day he would start from where he left off and go to the next mantra and teach us the next mantra. And then go back and start his lecture from where he had left off lecturing on the first mantra. So Prabhupada was there, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And Prabhupada had this deep, very wonderful sounding voice. And he was just rocking back and forth like this, and I just felt that he's the captain of the ship, taking us across this ocean of Kali, which is so sweet. Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatam jagat tenaktatena bunjitaha magridaha kazasvidanam. And I was just feeling, Prabhupada he's taking us, he's the captain of the ship, and we're going across this great ocean of Kali. And that reminds me of another wonderful pastime that we heard one time. There was the 30th anniversary of Bombay Temple, and they invited some of the old devotees to come. And I remember I saw one lady sitting with Devaki Nandan Prabhu from Bombay Temple at that time. And I thought it was she was rather large, so I thought it was some Punjabi lady. And I sat down, and then Devaki Nandan says, "You don't recognize? This is your god sister Kausalya." And I looked immediately, I hit the ground, because she's my older god sister. Because she had a beautiful color to her face. She wasn't completely white. So I thought she was just some Punjabi lady, my god sister Kausalya. And she stole all of our hearts with this beautiful story. There was one time, we've seen the pictures, Prabhupada went to Surat. So in Surat, they put saris from one building to the next building across the street to shade the devotees from the sun. They gave the devotees so many marigold garlands. You sometimes may have seen the picture, They're just up to their noses in marigold garlands. There's one almost Indian-looking face in the middle of that with a big smile. That's Kausalya. So there was such a reception in Surat like that. So then we went to the village. Some village nearby Surat we went to. And so Kausalya, at that time, she was just 16, 17-year-old girl. She joined Krishna consciousness very young. So she came prancing up to Srila Prabhupada. Because, now she's a young girl, she wanted some attention from Prabhupada. So she just came prancing up and said, "Oh, Prabhupada, I have memorized whole Isopanishad by heart." Because that time we were learning Isopanishad. I've learned all Isopanishad by heart. And so Prabhupada said, "That's nice." That's the only reaction she got. "That's nice." So that night there was a Pandal program. Now in the city, we just heard about the reception in the city, but there's bars, there's restaurants, there's movie theaters, so many things to distract. But in the village, all you do in the night is listen to the grass grow. So some white sadhus have come. This was, 1970, nobody had seen white sadhus before. So in the village, nobody had anything to do, so everybody came. And there was like 50, 60,000 people there in this Pandal program. And all of a sudden, Prabhupada announced in Hindi that I have got one lady disciple, she can chant a whole Isopanishad by heart. And Kausalya went, oh no, why did I tell him? Then Prabhupada announced in English, and then he looked at her and she just, so she went up to the microphone, she looked out, 50, 60,000 people were there staring at her, and she just shut her eyes and she chanted, Om Purnam Mara Purnaminam Purnat Purnam Udachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. And she went through the whole Isopanishad. Somehow or other she managed to complete all the 16 or 17 verses of Isopanishad. And then Prabhupada called her over. Prabhupada was so happy that she actually pulled it off. And she came up to the Vyasasana and Prabhupada pushed her over the Vyasasana into his lap, like grandfather with a granddaughter. And he was rubbing her back like this. Prabhupada was so happy that she pulled it off. So this is such a sweet story. Srila Prabhupada ki. So I was thinking where we go this evening, and somebody said something about Damodar. That somebody went to Vrindavan for Damodar. This is the first time after, I think, 3 years, At least 2 years nobody had come. So yet last Damodar month, everybody was there for Kartik. So this Damodar pastime happens on the other side of the Jamuna River, on the eastern bank, in a place called Gokul. Because on the eastern bank of the Jamuna, there's 5 forests: Bajravan, Bandirvan, Belvan, Lohavan, and Mahavan. And then on the western bank we have Madhuvan, Talavan, Kamudvan, Bahulavan, biggest Vrindavan, then one very far off one in Rajasthan, Kamyavan, and then one little forest between Barsana and Nandagam, a little ways, called Kadiravan. So 5 and 7, 12 forests of Braj. So this pastime happens on the eastern bank in a place called Gokul. Because one day, it was in the month of Kartik, and Mother Yasoda was lamenting that everybody comes and complains that my Lala comes to their house and steals butter. So she thought it must be that the servant girls, they don't make the butter properly. It's so hard to get good help these days. Even 5,000 years ago, Ma Yasoda had this complaint. Said, so tomorrow is Diwali, because right in the month of Kartik is Diwali. So I will give all the girls day off, and I myself will turn the yogurt into butter. So that night, she got the best milk. Because in Braj, we don't scrape off the cream and turn that into butter. We take the whole milk, turn it into yogurt, and we turn that into butter. So she got the best milk. Because you may have heard that Nanda Baba, he has 9 lakh cows. You know 1 lakh? What 1 lakh means? You don't know? All right. 1 lakh means 100,000. So 9 lakhs means almost 1 megabyte. And among those cows, there's 1,000 that are special cows. So to those cows, they feed the best, most juiciest grass. So they give nice milk. And then they take the milk of those 1,000 cows and feed them to 100 special, very special cows. Then they take the milk of those very special cows and feed them to 10 very, very special cows. And they take the milk of those 10 very, very special cows and feed it to Krishna's favorite cow, Padma Ganda. So maybe some of you can understand. Ganda means fragrance. And Padma means lotus flower. Kamal. So her milk is fragrant just like a lotus flower. So she took that milk and she heated it up and she put the yogurt culture inside and left it for the night. So the next morning she wants to turn that yogurt into butter. And by the way, I read one article that butter and ghee made from the cream creates the bad cholesterol, increases bad cholesterol. And that butter and yogurt and ghee made from the yogurt, that creates increases the good cholesterol. Since everybody worries about these things these days, I'm telling you, I read this article. So she poured all that yogurt into the churning pot. Now all the mothers know, and those of you going to be mothers someday, you can learn something from Mother Yasoda. They all know that while the children are awake, you can't get anything done around the house. Is it? So Mother Yasoda, she put Lala to rest, singing beautiful melodies. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. And when Krishna was sound asleep, then she went into the churning room. And there's a special pole with so many little spokes on it. And 2 ropes you tie to the wall to hold the rod straight, and then another rope you tie like this, and prrr, 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 you begin to churn the butter. So it was making this sound, prrr, 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 just like this mridanga. And Mother Yasoda, she has so many bangles. Just like mostly when I go to Western countries, nobody has bangles. Our Indian ladies, they can't go out of the house without their bangles. But nobody has bangles. I made so many converts by this story. So all their bangles going ching, 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 just like kartals. And Mother Yasoda, she's singing the names of her Lala. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So Mridanga is there, Kartals is there, Krishna Nam is there. This is Nam Sankirtan. And Prabhupada explained to us one day that as soon as you chant Hare Krishna, then Radha and Krishna go, oh, someone is chanting our name. So he said the trick is to chant with so much love that Radha and Krishna will say, oh, someone is chanting with so much love. Let us go and see them. So this is Vatsalya Prem. Mother Yasoda is in Vatsalya Bhav. So this is Vatsalya Prem Kirtan. Just our ordinary kirtan draws Krishna's mind. So how Krishna is going to sleep with Vatsalya Prem Kirtan going on? So immediately he woke up. But he looked. The bed is very tall and he is very small. So he looked all around, all the 4 sides. Then he began to slip his legs over the back of the bed. But he can't reach the ground. It's too far down. And he's so far down, now he can't pull himself up. So he's stuck there like this. And he began to cry. But Mother Yasoda's in the turning room. Prrr, 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 ching, ching, ching. She can't hear him crying. Anyway, anyhow, boom, he just dropped down. Then he ran to the churning room. And he crawled in Mother Yasoda's lap. And that person who's churning the hearts of everyone in the universe, he began to stop the churning rod of Mother Yasoda. So Mother Yasoda thought, this Lala, he's too hungry. He wants some milk. So she placed Lala in her lap, and she pushed her breast into his mouth, and she began to feed him milk from her breast. And she's just seeing that beautiful moon-like face of her Lala. And tiny, tiny little teeth are coming, and little drops of milk are spilling out the side, bloop, bloop, like little pearl drops. Bloop, bloop, bloop. But the Yasoda just forgot everything. She even forgot that in the kitchen she has some milk heating up for cooking down into milk sweets. She forgot all about the milk on the oven. So we read in Srimad Bhagavatam that the milk gradually boiled over. But our acharyas in their tikas, they have explained actually what happened, that milk was thinking that Mother Yasoda, she has unlimited love for Lala. And Lala has unlimited love for Yasoda. She will go on giving milk, he will go on drinking milk, she will go on giving, he will go on drinking, she will go on giving, he will go on drinking, this will go on forever. I'll never get offered to Krishna, so he decided to suicide himself by jumping into the fire. So then, suddenly Mother Yasoda, she smelled that thing. We know that smell. So she put Lala down. Actually, I should say, she tried to put Lala down. One time when we were living in Colombia, we had a little, cute little Colombian monkey. In America, we have a saying, like a monkey on your back. And once he got on your back, you could never get him off, you know. He just put his tail around your neck and he grabbed one hand and he grabbed the other hand, he grabbed your sika, and no way you could get him down on the ground. So Mother Yasoda, she tried to put Lala down, but he put two feet around her leg, around her arm, around her arm. He grabbed her sari, he grabbed her choti. Anyway, anyhow, she just pushed him down to the ground and ran to the milk. And we heard she pulled out some wood from the stove and she sprinkled some water on the milk. But actually what happened was that milk, our acharyas have explained that milk was thinking that Mother Yasoda, she had the perfection of life. Krishna in his most attractive form as Gopal is sitting in her lap drinking milk from her breast. We can't imagine the fortune of Mother Yasoda. All we can say is Ma Yasoda ki jai. But Mother Yasoda is not concerned with her own benefit. She's worried about the Vaishnavas, because this milk is a devotee who'll get offered to Krishna in the form of sweets. So she has a perfection of life, but she's worried about the Vaishnavas. She ran to the kitchen and seeing Mother Yasoda's extraordinary love for the devotees, that milk jumped back into the pot. Meanwhile, Lala, he became very upset. This Maya, she was feeding me milk, then she just threw me down like this. This was not a nice thing to do. What rascalism can I do? Now we may wonder, Lala's become upset. Because we heard that devotional service should be done anukul. But Krishna's become upset. Just like we know with King Kamsa, actually Krishna had a lot of fun. He likes to fight, so this was a good time to get a big fight with King Kamsa. Pow! You know, he was enjoying like anything. But Kamsa's activity is not considered a bhakti. Although he's always thinking of Krishna, 24 hours a day. Actually, I'm envious of Kamsa. He was never forgetting Krishna. 24 hours a day he was thinking of Krishna. One time, his servant brought a glass of water, nice silver glass, with a silver tray, reflecting all the colors of the palace and sparkling and everything. And he looked, he saw something shining and colorful coming. He said, guards, guards, that dust has come, that dust has come. Krishna, kill him, kill him. Arey Maharaj, I brought you water. Huh? Huh? So Kant's even seeing water. He's seeing Krishna. Just like you all come to Vrindavan and we go on Prikrama. And the first word our Western devotees learn in Hindi is Pani. Oh Prabhu, where's Pani? We're in Vrindavan, all we're thinking about Pani. But Kant's even seeing Pani, he's seeing Krishna. His cook made a nice feast. Nice, beautiful red tomato chutney and orange carrot halava and nice palak paneer sabji, nice and green. And he put haldi in the puris, so nice yellow puris were there. And nice sabji was there. And laddus were there, so many things. And he put it all in a silver thali, he put silver katoris, he put a little flour, and he came before Kant. And Kant saw something very colorful and shining. He said, guards, guards, kill him, that dust has come, that dust has come, kill him, kill him. Arey Maharaj, I just brought your khana. Even seeing food, Kamsa was seeing Krishna. Now I ask you, Sach Bolo, on the Sunday feast, when you see that gulab jamun sitting on your plate, Sach Pata, you think of Krishna? But Kant, even seeing his food, he was seeing Krishna. He's so Krishna conscious. He has two wives, Asti and Prati, the daughters of Jarasan. So they dress themselves in very beautiful, colorful saris. They put nice crown and nice jewelry, nice earrings. They came before their Lord. And Kamsa, two are coming. He said, guards, guards, both Krishna and Balaram, come, kill them, kill them. They'll just have come, Krishna and Balaram have come. Arey Maharaj, it's us, your wives. Jut mat bola, sach bola. When you see your wife, do you see Krishna? But Kant, even seeing his wives, he's seeing Krishna. He's so Krishna conscious. But his Krishna consciousness is not considered bhakti. Because it is pratikul, it's not anukul. He wants to kill Krishna. But Mother Yasoda, she's acting out of love for Krishna. She wants to save that milk to make sweets for Krishna. So even though Krishna apparently is upset, he's relishing like anything. It is anukul. Mother Yasoda's bhav is anukul. So this is still considered bhakti. So Krishna thought, what rascal thing could I do? So he thought, maybe I should break this butter pot. But that's a very thick pot, because this thing is there, this bunny churning rod is there. Prrr, 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 has to be very thick. But in the kitchen, we have this special stone, for grinding all the spices. That's very heavy stone. So Krishna got that stone and pow! He poked a big hole, smashed a big hole in the side of that pot. And all the half-turned butter and whey went all over the floor. Then he said, uh-oh, I'm going to get in big trouble. So he ran out of the churning room. And as he was going out of the churning room, he saw in the storeroom so many pots of butter hanging from the days before. So he thought, oh, let me get those pots. So he went into the churning room, but the pots are hanging very high and he's very small. So he dragged the ukkal over, the wooden grinding mortar, and he climbed on top, he undid that pot, he brought it down, and he ran onto the courtyard and began to eat all the butter. Now, most of you have been to Vrindavan, so you know that as soon as there's food, who comes? Monkeys. So all the monkeys came. And Krishna was thinking that in my last avatar as Lord Ram, these monkeys, they did so much service. I didn't give anything to them. At least in this incarnation, let me give them some butter. So he began to distribute butter to all the monkeys. Meanwhile, Mother Yasoda came back to the churning room. She saw a big mess. But you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what's going on. There's these little buttery footprints going out of the butter churning room, little buttery footprints going into the storeroom. There's buttery footprints all over the ukal, and then buttery footprints running out to the courtyard. So on the way to the courtyard, she took a stick. Now Lala, he's busy distributing butter to the monkeys. He's got his back to Mother Yasoda. And Mother Yasoda is coming right behind him. But you'll see that all of us who live permanently in Vrindavan, we always carry a stick. It's good for monkeys with tails and without tails. Because the monkey will come, he'll sit on your shoulder, grab your glasses, and he'll go up on top of the wall, and you can shout, you can scream and wave your hands. You're out of reach. Now you don't exist, you know. But if you have a stick, then he throws those glasses and runs. So all that monkey saw that stick in Mother Yasoda's hands. They all ran up in a tree. So then Lala turned around, he saw Mother Yasoda coming with a stick. And he began to run. And Mother Yasoda began to run behind him. But her hips are very big. And her breasts are very swollen. She can't run so fast. And she's running and running. She's huffing and pumping. And then Lala thought, oh, my Yasoda, she's troubling herself too much. So he finally let her catch him. But he looked at that stick and began to rub his eyes, and he smeared all his kajal all over his face. And Mother Yasoda thought, if he's too frightened, it's not good. So she threw that stick away. And Lala's saying, I'll be good, I won't do it again, I'll be good, Maya, don't hit me, Maya. And Mother Yasoda said, look, Lala, I'm going to forgive you. We didn't hear that in Srimad Bhagavatam, but our acharyas have written that Mother Yasoda, I will forgive you. First of all, you broke the pot. That was a very naughty thing to do. But this stealing, if you grow up to become a thief, you'll get so much trouble in your later life. I'm going to have to punish you for that. And your accomplice in this thievery was this ukal. So I'm going to tie the both of you together. So Mother Yasoda, she got some rope. And she tied it around ukal, and she tried to tie it around Krishna's belly. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, he has no beginning, middle, or end. How are you going to tie up something like that? So then she got some more rope and tied it together, and still it's 2 fingers too short. And she got some more ropes, and still it's 2 fingers too short. And all the older gopis, her friends, have come. And they're all laughing. They're all laughing at her. But Mother Yasoda is angry. Angry means Rajagun. Can we tie up Krishna with Rajagun? We can't even tie him up with Sattvagun. So she can't, it's still 2 fingers too short. Then she got some more ropes. Those little ropes that we use to tie the back legs of the cow. First of all, you know there's an animal called the cow. Because I have a godbrother named Guru Kripa. He told me that I never knew that milk came from the cows. It came from a carton in the store. My mother buys it. So anyway, there's an animal called a cow, and she's got this udder underneath with so many little teats, and you squeeze on those, and milk comes out. But you may pinch, so then she'll kick, and then you in the bucket, everything goes flying. So that she doesn't kick, you tie those back legs like this with these little ropes, and then while you're making, she can't kick. So Mother Yasoda got all those ropes, still 2 fingers too short. So then Lala saw my Mother Yasoda, she's trying too much and she loves me too much. So then, boop, she was able to tie him up. Then she went to clean up the mess and arrange everything properly. Meanwhile, Lala was thinking, now what can I do? So he saw those twin Arjun trees. Standing there in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. And Arjun trees, I haven't seen yet since I've been here in Australia have so many trees, but I haven't seen Arjun trees. Very difficult. They have what I call rocket fin roots. You know, like the banyan tree has roots hanging down, but these come out from the side of the tree and, you know, snake into the ground this way and that way and that way, just coming out of the sides like rocket fins. Just like in Mauritius, they have their botanical garden. From over my head, they start snaking out of the tree. It's very difficult to knock them over. And if we get into the whole story of how they became, we know this is Nalakuver, Manigriva, we know the story. So he saw those two Arjun trees. So he crawled in between. And he very easily crawled in between. But that ukkal fell over sideways and got stuck. So when it got stuck, Krishna put one foot on one tree, one foot on the other tree, and he gave a big jerk. But they were touched by the lotus feet of Krishna. Immediately they fell over. Huge sound. So Nanda Baba was in the Goshala taking care of the cows. He heard this huge sound. And he came running. And he saw Lala was lying in between these two huge Arjun trees, completely safe. And this ukkal was there, tied to him. So he immediately went there, and because this knot is tied with Vasali Ras, nobody can untie it. But Ananda Baba, he's in Vasali Ras, boom, he untied that knot. Krishna jumped into his arms. And Nanda Baba said, Lala, who did this? He said, Maya. And what did you do? Baba, I didn't do nothing. No, Lala, what did you do? He said, I didn't do nothing, Baba. Then Mother Yasoda, she also heard this sound. She came running. She saw the ukkal lying there between these two trees. You can imagine what happened, that these trees fell over almost on Krishna. And she ran toward Nanda Baba with her arms out like this. And he put his head on the other side. And she came on this side. He put his head on this side. Then she came from this side. He put his head on that side. Then, crying like a cow who's lost her calf, she went running to her room. And Baba said, Lala, you go to your Maya. Nope, I don't want to see the face of this rascal Maya. I was drinking milk and she just threw me down. Then she chased me with a stick and then she tied me up. I don't want to see this rascal Maya. But Lala, who's going to bathe you and get you ready for bed tonight? He says, you, Baba. And who's going to heat up the milk and feed you milk before you go to sleep? He said, tu, Baba. I don't want to see this rascal Maya. So he took Lala home and bathed him and got him ready to bed. He heated up some milk. He gave the milk to Lala. Then he put Lala to rest. The next morning, Nanda Baba, he woke Lala up. He bathed him and dressed him. Then Mother Rohini came running. And she said, Mother Yasoda is going to die. So she said, Mother Yasoda is going to die. Then Krishna jumped out of Nanda Baba's arms and he ran into Mother Yasoda's room and jumped into Yasoda's arms. Yasoda Damodar ki! So this is a beautiful pastime right in the middle of, on the Diwali day, right in the middle of Kartik. So the whole month of Kartik has become known as Damodar. So this was the Yasoda Damodar pastime that we're celebrating. Now we've all heard of a temple called Radha Damodar. Now in Bhavishya Purana it tells another story that Krishna was late for the, one night, it was actually Kartik Purnima night, Krishna was late for the Rasa dance. So when he came, Radharani was very angry. She took a golden belt and bound him around the waist. And she made angry mudra. You know angry mudra? Hands are on the hips and toe is tapping. So she demanded to know where he was, why he was late. He said, well, today was Kartik Purnima. My Maya kept me home for some special ceremonies. So I came as soon as I could. So then Mother Radharani smiled and loosened him from that golden belt. So this is the Radha Damodar pastime. So we'll put our voice to rest here. Sri Sri Yashoda Damodar ki jai. So we're just telling some wonderful stories about our Prabhupada. And just before we came here, my dear friend Arjun had gone home to his parents' house in Calcutta, and he ran into his dear friend Radharaman. And Radharaman told him that we've got that land where Prabhupada's, that jackfruit tree that Prabhupada was born under, we have that much land, this tiny little place. Because this is all, slum lands, there's all little hutments are there, so a few little hutments they got in that tree. But they found one letter that Prabhupada had Bhakti Charu write in Bengali in 1977, before Prabhupada disappeared. He said, get that land of that banyan tree and make a suitable memorial. So this letter was in Bengali, so nobody actually knew about it so much. But it was written to Sankarshan, my godbrother, who was also Prabhupada's nephew. So somehow Radharaman found that letter, and so he wants to get more land all around. And you can see in the video that behind all these big high-rises are there. Because this is Tollygunge, this is where all the movie stars live. So there's just this little slum area left, and the builders are very anxious to get that property. So we're in competition with the builders. And if we don't act fast, then that land will be lost. So we're on a mission here trying to collect funds so that Radharaman can, because it's very difficult in India. You not only have to buy the property from the owner, then the people who are actually living there, you have to give them money to get off the land, and so on, because the laws are so funny in India. Anyway, it's a whole big endeavor. But if we don't get this land, we'll never be able to build the memorial that Srila Prabhupada wanted. So, who wants to speak? Krishna Chandra or Arjun wants to speak? So Arjun made this beautiful video. He went with Radharaman and made this beautiful video.
Let him play the video.
All right. Can we get the lights off?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, lights.
Maybe we can have the lights on. Hare Krishna. So, we are here with a little begging bowl, asking for your help for Srila Prabhupada's birthplace. So, as you saw that we already, if you go there now, somehow we managed to secure the jackfruit tree under which Srila Prabhupada was born. But that's not enough, because Prabhupada desired to have a memorial. And for us, for our generation, when you go to Mayapur and Vrindavan, you see Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi is already there, it's built. But Srila Prabhupada's birthplace is still needs to be done, and that's in our hand. So I would say, I'm from Calcutta, and my birthplace, my home is very close to the birthplace. And when I was coming, Radharaman Prabhu was saying that my desire is to acquire 1 acre of land. But I don't know how it will be possible if you can do something. So I discussed with Dina Bandhu Prabhu. We said that since we are traveling, why not? Why not give it a try? So 1 acre, the situation is, it's all slum area, as you saw. And around the slum area, it's all high-rise buildings. And it's in Tollygunge, which is a very posh area in Calcutta. I don't know if anybody has been to Tollygunge. And one side is Tollygunge, next side is New Alipur. In the middle there is an Adi Ganga, where Ganga used to flow before. Now Ganga changed its course. And just beside Adi Ganga, Srila Prabhupada took his birth. That area is a slum area, not for long, because it will be high-rise buildings and builders will take over. We still have chance. We can get Srila Prabhupada's birthplace and get 1 acre land out of them and build a memorial. So we are doing it phase by phase. Phase 1 is already done. You saw whatever was there. Currently we are doing it for phase 2, which is 5,000 square feet. And we are only 70 lakh short. Yesterday night we were in a house program. We raised 10 lakh rupees. So we were like 150,000, I think it's 140,000. 140,000 Australian dollars to go. So if any of you feels inspired, whatever small, big, super big amount, please come forward. A little bit also helps, because it also adds up. Even a $20 is 1,000 rupees in Indian currency. So I'm sure that you all are capable to do at least a few 4 times more than $20. So if all of you pledge or pay something, then when we go back, at least we can say, okay, Srila Prabhupada, this is for you. You have given us everything. We are here just because of Srila Prabhupada, to be honest. Otherwise, our lives would have been different. We wouldn't be here. I lived in US for 5 years. I lived in Detroit. And I know I just survived because of temple. I used to live in the temple. Without the temple, I would have not survived, to be honest. In that snow and that horrible place where everybody is eating leaf, I would have died. Just because of the temple and prasad I survived. And many of us, I'm sure all of you who are here, are very much grateful to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada did an amazing thing for all of us, coming to the West, taking up such a hardship. And this is our only chance we can do something directly for Srila Prabhupada. So I request Dipankar Prabhu to say some words, say a few words. Yeah, Prabhu, please come. And whatever is possible, please. It's up to you. You are free to do. Whatever you pledge, you want to do, you can tell somebody whom you know who can give something, 100, 500, 1,000, 2,000, anything. So please, this is a humble request. Hare Krishna.
Oh yeah.
His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu just now gave a beautiful rendition of the Damodar pastime. As he was mentioning, when Mother Yashoda was trying to tie Krishna, the rope was how much short? 2 fingers short. All of you know the theory behind it, right? What are those 2 fingers? What do they represent? Anyone remembers? Endeavor, and then after that? Mercy. Okay. So, without endeavor and mercy, we cannot go back to Godhead. And anyone wants to come back into Kali Yuga, please raise your hand. Anyone wants to come back into this material world? At least I don't want to come back, right? So, talking about endeavor, we are all endeavoring to do the process of Navavida Bhakti. The topmost out of Navavida Bhakti is chanting the holy names of the Lord. But I am going to ask a question to all of you. Hands up if you believe your chanting is attentive. No, we all know the answer. Hands up if you believe that by the end of this lifetime, you are super confident that your chanting will be attentive. When I ask myself this question, the answer is a big no. Hands up if we believe that by the end of this lifetime, we will be completely free from pride, anger, greed, envy and lust. Hands up if anyone has confidence about that. I don't have confidence about that. Okay, I've thought through it so many times. So, if we think like this, we will be utterly convinced that by our own endeavor, it is impossible to go back to Godhead in this very lifetime. Therefore, what do we have to depend on? Along with our endeavor, we have to depend on mercy. Now, how do we get the mercy of Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna has got very high standards, which he has set for us. It is, if we, in fact, Srila Prabhupada once said, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, please correct me if I am quoting wrong, that if I tell you all the standards, you will collapse.
Yeah. You'll faint.
You'll faint, yes. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada made it very easy on us. Even if we would have been born few years back, if we would have been associated with, during Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, then we would have all had to chant 64 rounds every day. 16 rounds itself becomes so difficult that sometimes when we don't finish our rounds in the morning, every bead is like a rock, a boulder which we are pushing, right? So with this kind of sadhana, it is extremely difficult for us to think that we will get Krishna Prem by the end of this life. Therefore, now how do we get Lord Krishna's mercy? In Padma Puran, when Lord Shivji is talking to his good wife Parvati, she asks him a question. Out of all worship, what is the highest worship? So Lord Shiva is telling Parvati ji, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnor Aradhanam param tasmat parataram devim tadiyanam samarchanam. Out of all worship, the highest worship is the worship of Lord Krishna. But he pauses after that. But he says, higher than the worship of Lord Krishna is the worship of his pure devotee. Because if we please a pure devotee of Krishna, if we serve the instruction or the order of a pure devotee of the Lord, then even if our sadhana is 19-20, which is what it is likely to be, then Krishna's special mercy will come to us. And that is the opportunity that we have right now. Krishna Chandra Prabhu had sent me this video along with a letter that Srila Prabhupada had written to, had dictated, and Bhakti Charu Swami had written it down. Prabhupada used, if I'm not mistaken, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, Prabhupada said, take it seriously. Now, Srila Prabhupada, before his departure, is writing this, please take it seriously. That means how dear this desire was to Srila Prabhupada's heart, that this memorial will be done. And now we have this wonderful opportunity. So, not only should we contribute for this, but we should also each one get one. We should try and at least get one more person. Your best friend, Changu Mangu, Ina, Meena, Dina, whoever that is. Okay? Tell them to immediately contribute. By that time, Dina Bandhu Prabhu takes the flight back. So I would start by personally pledging $1,000 immediately on the spot.
Haribo!
Then we would then, it's up to your free will and our individual love for Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, for giving us this opportunity. Hare Krishna. So there is a pay ID that is set up, right? So Krishna Chandra Prabhu, do you want to explain how to do this? I'm a bit bad with technology, especially cell phones.
Hare Krishna everyone. So there's two ways of doing it. I can send you my BSB account number, which I sent to Dipanka Prabhu. We can display here on the thing. And also my phone number and pay ID. So we can display that also. We would like to have a transcendental competition today. Yesterday we had a Southeast Bhaktvriksha combined, and they have collected $14,000 to $15,000, and most of them have pledges and they already paid. So if anyone wants to take a pledge now, and I'm happy to pay them today, is fine, or else you can pay them later during the week. And if anyone wants to start after Jagannath Prabhu, please go ahead. A mobile number, I'll display over the phone. Yeah, if you don't want to say it outside, that's fine, because a lot of people yesterday after the home program, they just discreetly came towards me and said, Prabhuji, this is my amount, please check your bank account. So I'll leave it up to you, I'll be here. And also we have another announcement.
Okay.
I would give the mic to Babaji and he will explain about his work.
So we brought some books with us, Braj Dham Part 1 and Part 2. Before we got halfway through our trip, they were finished. Somehow we had another shipment, it just came. So we have two books, Braj Dham Part 1 and Braj Dham Part 2, which is, I started from the whole Prikrama path, went all around Braj. And we started from Visram Ghat, where we do Braj Prikrama from, and we ended up at Visram Ghat. So in two parts I've made it, and it's not formal writing, but the way I talk, that's the way the book is. Some of them are just actual transcripts from my lectures at these different places. So, and we have the two of them here with us tonight. So Braj Dham Part 1 is a little small, so that's $15 AUD. And Braj Dham Part 2 is $20. If you buy the whole set, then it's $30. And I'm here tonight to sign it if you want to get a set. So anyone who wants a set, they can come and take a set and I will sign it. Or you can take one or two. Some people already have one, some people already have two. You can take one or two as you like. Hare Krishna. Plus whatever we collect over the cost of the books and shipping and everything, that will go for Prabhupada's birthplace memorial. Hare Krishna. So first we should do kirtan first, or we take more kirtan? Then you think about it while this kirtan is going on, and you can make your pledges. Megan, move it more toward the center, the screen.
Prabhu, I can move the project a little bit the center. Yes,
So anyway, you're all tired of sitting, so actually this is dancing music, so you can all get up. Since we're in Gokul, this is the original Janmastami song from Gokul. Mm-hmm. Where's our Mridanga? Oh, there's our Mridangawala, okay. क्या नाम प्रभु जी? आपका नाम क्या है? Varun, acha. King of the water. All right. So everybody can stand up. You're tired of sitting. This is dancing music anyway. We have Kartal Wala. Somewhere, okay. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Hati Dini Gora Dini or Dini Palki. Dini Palki. Hati Dini Gora Dini or Dini Palki. Hati Dini Gora Dini or Dini Palki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jai Kaniya Lal Ki, Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jawan इनको हत्ती घोड़े बूढ़ इनको पालकी. जवान इनको हत्ती घोड़े बूढ़ इनको पालकी. जवान इनको हत्ती घोड़े बूढ़ इनको पालकी. जवान इनको हत्ती घोड़े बूढ़ इनको पालकी. नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल के. ओ नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल की. जय कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की. ओ जय कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की. नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल के. ओ नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल के. हाथी दीनी घोड़ा दीनी और दीनी पालकी. हाथी दीनी घोड़ा दीनी और दीनी पालकी. नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल के. ओ नंदगढ़ नंदा बायो जय कन्हैया लाल के. जय कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Jwanin go hati go re budin Gopal ki. Jwanin go hati go re budin Gopal ki. Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Oh Nanda Gara Nanda Bhayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki. Nanda ke Lala ki. Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu just now gave a beautiful rendition of the Damodar pastime. As he was mentioning, when Mother Yashoda was trying to tie Krishna up, the rope was how much short? 2 fingers short. All of you know the theory behind it, right? What are those 2 fingers? What do they represent? Anyone remembers? Endeavor, and then after that? Mercy. Okay. So, without endeavor and mercy, we cannot go back to Godhead. And anyone wants to come back into Kali Yuga, please raise your hand. Anyone wants to come back into this material world? At least I don't want to come back, right? So, talking about endeavor, we are all endeavoring to do the process of Navavida Bhakti. The topmost out of Navavida Bhakti is chanting the holy names of the Lord. But I'm going to ask a question to all of you. Hands up if you believe your chanting is attentive. No, we all know the answer. Hands up if you believe that by the end of this lifetime, you are super confident that your chanting will be attentive. When I ask myself this question, the answer is a big no. Hands up if we believe that by the end of this lifetime, we will be completely free from pride, anger, greed, envy and lust. Hands up if anyone has confidence about that. I don't have confidence about that. Okay, I've thought through it so many times. So, if we think like this, we will be utterly convinced that by our own endeavor, it is impossible to go back to Godhead in this very lifetime. Therefore, what do we have to depend on? Along with our endeavor, we have to depend on mercy. Now, how do we get the mercy of Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna has got very high standards, which he has set for us. It is, if we, in fact, Srila Prabhupada once said, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, please correct me if I'm quoting wrong, that if I tell you all the standards, you will collapse.
Yeah.
Right? You'll faint, yes. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada made it very easy on us. Even if we would have been born few years back, if we would have been associated with during Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, then we would have all had to chant 64 rounds every day. 16 rounds itself becomes so difficult that sometimes when we don't finish our rounds in the morning, every bead is like a rock, a boulder which we are pushing, right? So with this kind of sadhana, it is extremely difficult for us to think that we will get Krishna Prem by the end of this life. Therefore, now how do we get Lord Krishna's mercy? In Padma Puran, when Lord Shivji is talking to his good wife Parvati, she asks him a question. Out of all worship, what is the highest worship? So Lord Shiva is telling Parvati ji, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnor Aradhanam param tasmat parataram devim tadiyanam samarchanam. Out of all worship, the highest worship is the worship of Lord Krishna. But he pauses after that. But he says, higher than the worship of Lord Krishna is the worship of his pure devotee. Because if we please a pure devotee of Krishna, if we serve the instruction or the order of a pure devotee of the Lord, then even if our sadhana is 19-20, which is what it's likely to be, then Krishna's special mercy will come to us. And that is the opportunity that we have right now. Krishna Chandra Prabhu had sent me this video along with a letter that Srila Prabhupada had written to, had dictated, and Bhakti Charu Swami had written it down. Prabhupada used, if I'm not mistaken, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, Prabhupada said, take it seriously. Right? Now, Srila Prabhupada, before his departure, is writing this, please take it seriously. That means how dear this desire was to Srila Prabhupada's heart, that this memorial be done. And now we have this wonderful opportunity. So, not only should we contribute for this, but we should also each one get one. We should try and at least get one more person, your best friend, Changu Mangu, Ina, Meena, Dina, whoever that is. Okay, tell them to immediately contribute. By that time, Dina Bandhu Prabhu takes the flight back. So I would start by personally pledging $1,000 immediately on the spot for this, and then we would then. It's up to your free will and our individual love for Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu, for giving us this opportunity.